Hello all and welcome to Pojkarna versus Smug. This is the first round of L13 and it is Division 2 gaming. I will be your camera tonight and we are joined tonight by Yukari and Eggnormous for casting, and Starbucks will be helping out with the pre-game. Hello Yukari, how are you doing?
I don't even know what I'm doing here. I just wandered in. I'm a little lost. I'm a little confused. And there's a lot of TF2 to talk about tonight.
Yeah, we have Team Smug and Pojkarna, which is the remnants of last season's multiplex, I believe, or half of the players, I think, something along those lines. And we have Smug, who were the favourites, but unfortunately did only finish third after being knocked out in the semi-finals.
Yeah, both of these teams have an established core that you could say have been playing for a while. At least last season, and some of the players have been playing together even longer than that.
So I think on multiplex's side we have Left on Medic, Zato.
And Zato have been playing on.
Yeah, Left and Zato have been playing on from multiplex last season. And they've changed the number of players, so we have Zato and Alice on Scout. Zumoj, I believe, is making his return. He hasn't played for a long time, and he's roaming for them, I believe. And we have Locke, who's basically been there, from the looks of it, like their standout player. He's just racking out the damage and getting all the frags. And we have Ryan on demo, who's just been around for a while.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about with this team. So let's start with Pojkarna, because they're a name that I don't want to say as little as possible. Screw their name. Screw you guys for having that name. So, okay, so their lineup, we've got Locke on Pocket Soldier, we've got Left on Medic, Zato has moved from Roaming Soldier to Scout, Ryan on Demo, a fellow called Alice on Scout, and we have, was it Zumoj? Zumoj on Soldier. Okay, so this team has a bit of a reputation in the community, and let's be blunt, a huge amount of it is around Locke, their Pocket Soldier. He's one of those, you better keep me at 300, I'm going to do everything for the team type players. He's what Thorin would call a true carry type player. He knows that it's his job to do a lot of the damage, to take a lot of the ground, and to get a lot of the frags. And I think most people would say this guy would be probably the favourite for winning Best Soldier of the Division. He's one of those soldiers that has good aim and good mechanics, but what's way more important is he always seems to have an idea of what his team wants to do, and he's going to be a huge part of why they succeed.
I think some of his Ubers are just really good. He's just like taking lots of ground, he's getting picks, he's forcing the other teams Uber to be much worse, making them, in bad positions, trying to get them to multi as often as possible. He's just really good at taking ground.
And he seems to be a very consistent player. Whenever he's played in finals and high pressure situations, he's generally been the guy his team can count on to really deliver, to really put up the numbers. So other players in Pojkarna worth talking about. Ryan, how he's going to fit into this team is really interesting. Ryan has some really good categories going for him as a demo. What I really like about Ryan is that he understands it's his job to be aggressive. He understands that the smartest way to play demo is not a 10-death guy that sits behind your team and is never in risk. He understands that to do damage, you have to take risks, and taking risks is a huge part of being a top-level player in TF2. And he's pretty good at looking after himself. Problem with Ryan is how good he is at defending himself depends on his aim on the day. He's not a demo like... I suppose a modern example would be Duwatna, who sometimes can be really hard to get at. Sits behind his team, great positioning, great awareness of what's going on. Ryan is not that kind of a player. He's a go big or go home kind of guy, so be interesting to see how he holds up.
Sometimes he can win games, like rounds, or even, entire maps for his team, but sometimes
he can lose them just as easily.
He can lose them, yeah.
So the other players in the lineup are Alice and Zumoj. From what I've seen, these players are filling in what you would call a support role. They're not bad players. Please don't take anyone on this cast saying that somebody's supporting as being a bad player. But their job seems to be, they're going to play their role, they're going to set up Locke, they're going to set up the final player we're going to talk about, which is Zato. Now, Zato played Pocket for this team last season, and it was interesting because his Ubers weren't the greatest, but the other decisions he made outside of Ubers were really strong. He's a very aggressive player. He has very good aim for the division. What I really like about Zato is he's actually quite hard to put damage on. And he's playing Scout this season for them. And I think he's going to be their X factor. We know that Locke and Left, who's quite an experienced medic now, are going to be a strong combo. We know that Zumoj and Alice are going to be the support players in the team. We know that Ryan can go big on one map and really struggle on another. What we don't know is how Zato's going to go on Scout, because he's a really aggressive player. His hit scare aim is quite good. If he can really get it together and stand up, this team is a legitimate threat for the Div 2 title.
Yeah, now let's talk about the other team today.
Smug. Now, I think Smug are the most misunderstood team in the community. I hear a lot of people have some very strong opinions on this team. Who's good, who's bad. The first thing to talk about Smug is this team plays as a ball. Like, they play as a tight unit, they fight as a team, and they fight a lot around their demo, Oni.
Yeah, so maybe we should give a quick rundown on who's on Smug's roster. So we have Neutral and Randy, I believe, on Scouts. Ren Sibling playing Roma and Space pocketing. We have Oni on demo, and we have
Geo and Medic, I believe.
Yeah, Geo, Manus on Medic. Yeah, so what's interesting with this team is in previous seasons they've played, I think most believed Oni was their best player from like stats and just games, but I think Space is honestly the most effective player in the game.
I would agree. This is a really interesting team. Like, they any one of their players mechanically in game impact can go big on the night. Like, this is a true, like, in Counter-Strike TSM type team. Nobody in this team is struggling mechanically in the division. Like, their weakest player mechanically is Neutral, and Neutral is a really, really strong player when it comes to killing other scouts. He can put up 40, 45 frags. So that's
really interesting. Yeah, from my point of view as a demo, is that Neutral and Ransomling are their strongest players. Ransomling does so much. He's one of my favourite roamers. I love it.
Honestly, I think Ransomling is their best player, but I wouldn't say he's the most effective player of all times. But he will never lose Smug a game. He will never lose them a map. I think Space is the real reason why he's probably not their best player, but he's 9 times out of 10 the reason why they win games.
Yeah, and to talk about it a little bit, Rand Sibling is kind of the entry man to this team. Everyone else plays as a ball around their medic. Rand Sibling is the guy that's like, alright, hold the cart, boys and girls, I'm going in. He makes a lot of their plays. He dies very, very early in almost every fight for this team, which also means in most situations he's their designated off-classer. He runs a lot of spy, he runs a lot of heavy, he runs a lot of engineer, and he even runs some sniper. And this is actually a really strong thing for this team, because he has a much better understanding of when to off-class than most roamers do, I think. What I like about this guy is that he's not afraid to go engineer, which makes last points against this team really hard to push.
It's interesting you say Rent Sibling goes sniper. I think most of their scouts go sniper more often, I believe. Most of the other off-classes are left to Rent Sibling, if I believe. Yeah. So recent discussion, he honestly thought that having one of his scouts off-class is probably more beneficial to his team if he thought they were better at it than he was.
So...
if we talk about the scouts, we have Randy and Neutral. So Randy has kind of had this reputation of a player
tilting under pressure.
Tilting. So what this means is basically like Randy, if he doesn't have the greatest start to a game, he might just he doesn't really he loses a bit of confidence and he just plays like that the rest of the time. However, when Randy just doesn't care, there's no pressure on it. He honestly plays about 3 times as well as he normally does in like skill. He's not a bad player by any means.
This creates an interesting dynamic for Smug, because Smug's problem, yes, they can play around their demo Oni, yes, they can play defensively, but one thing that Smug's always really struggled to deal with is, here's a really aggressive team that loves to take duels and initiations and loves to just fight us and split us up. They've never looked too confident at dealing with that kind of play. Their scout pair has always been too typically passive players that like to sit back, work off damage on soldiers. Randy can change everything about that for this team. Randy can be the scout that's like, I'm confident in my aim, I'm confident that I can take this frag, I can take this fight, I can really force things. And that works really well with Neutral, who, to his credit, has always traditionally been a rather passive baity player, but I'd say in the last month or so has started to step up his game, has started to play more aggressively, more risky. It's really nice that he's understanding I can be more aggressive with heals, I can take more risks, I can die more in a game while still covering the important situations. And that works really nicely with Randy's kind of, I'm going to forward everything and hope that it works, but I have the awareness to forward things at good times. So we get onto their combo, and this is the really controversial part, and I'm of the opinion that Space is the highest impact player in this team, one of their best players, and probably the reason they win most of their games. Now, the way that Space plays reminds me a lot of an American player called Rando. Now, Rando was a very aggressive, dominant pocket all the way from the start. He was basically dying a lot in games, putting out a lot of damage, being really dominant. But he never really seemed to have an angle on how do I stay alive to put out damage? How do I have presence? Until he started playing with what's now Elevate. And one thing that really sticks out for me was Rando was fucking crazy good at finding the enemy scouts, particularly in even Uber situations, and putting damage on them, killing enemy scouts. And keep in mind, when you're playing against Banny and Clockwork, anyone that can do that consistently, like Rando would be able to, crazy good. That's something that Space really prioritizes. He loves hunting scouts. He will hunt scouts and Ubers. He will trade his Uber for 2 scout kills. And this...
I honestly think that's a good idea.
This is a really higher level order of thinking that a lot of pockets can't do. Hell, a lot of pockets in Div 1 struggle to do this against players that Space really hunts. So Space can really have a huge impact. He can blow a game wide open and just hunt the enemy flank and be really creative with his Ubers and be really aggressive. And his aim is quite good too, unless he tilts. Space is a lot like Randy. When he starts tilting, he keeps tilting. So if he's able to stay focused and stay productive and really get some mileage out of his Ubers, he could run rings around Lock, which is something that I don't think any other pocket in this division consistently can.
Yeah. So this... If we go back to what you said before about this team kind of struggling to deal with teams that like to be really aggressive, which is something I think Pojkarna likes to do a lot, is that typically their soldiers will be the ones that have to initiate all the time. And if you start playing on maps where, you know, soldier initiations aren't the best, it's kind of a worry for this team, because then neither of them really know what they're doing. On Viaduct, in particular, whenever we, when we've scrimmed this team, particularly on Viaduct, it kind of boils down to if their soldiers aren't starting every fight and their scouts are, you know, kind of nervous and they're chilling at the back and they're trying to get these cleanup frags, and they don't really do much, honestly.
Yeah, and that kind of actually moves us on to the last player in Smug, Oni. Now, a lot of people have different views on Oni, so I'll put my opinions on him as this. If Oni has space, he is the scariest player in the division, easily, over all of them, even over Lock. If Oni doesn't have space, it's almost like he isn't there. As a demo, he has great aim, he can put out a lot of damage, but he's very heal hungry. So Oni, in a lot of ways, he's kind of the clean-up crew for Smug, but more than that, he's a player that's very reliant on the rest of his team. The rest of his team kind of hinges around making Oni work. And this is effective, and it's definitely true that Oni converts off it. He's a very, very strong demo when you're backed into a corner. He has very good rollouts. He's very good at taking space that his soldiers create. But when you've got somebody like Randy, who, when he feels confident, when he has the demo pressure behind him and he can take fights, and when you've got somebody like Space who really wants heals and really wants to create openings and really wants to fight, you kind of wonder to yourself, would this team be a lot stronger if Oni could maybe moderate his damage a bit, maybe sit behind his team and just sticky out?
If you look a lot of the logs, like whenever he's dealing about, you know, the 300 DPM, the 9k damage per map, he's still taking quite a lot of damage, anywhere up to from 7 to 9k, so when he has less heals, because he's getting smothered a lot by the other teams, you know, Roma and Scouts, and he seems to struggle a lot more, his deaths are much higher, and he gets significantly less kills because he's just not there to clean up. Like, he'll still do a significant amount of damage, but those cleanup frags and just that staying alive that he's, you know, he does so effectively when he has space just isn't there.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because I would say that having played a little bit with Lock, something that is really, really good about Lock, and I would guess about the Lock-Left combo based on how Left played with Zato, Lock is very clear about how the arrangement's going to be. He will say, get out of the fight, I'm fighting, I'm having all of the priority. There's no misunderstanding. With Smug's combo, sometimes it feels like Space really wants to take an Uber and he wants to fight the scouts and he wants to fight the scouts and he wants to get that advantage. But at the same time in the Uber, Oni's going, I want to damage the combo, I want to put out damage, I want to put out damage. There's a little bit of lack of clarity between how these two players want to play and how they play around each other. And the new medic in Geomanus, as I understand, is a much more conservative player by the books, likes to work things with spam rather than going for crazy ideas. There is a question of how's Geo going to counterbalance that. Because in a best case scenario, if Geomanus can get space to tone down the aggression a little bit, play a little bit slower, die a little bit less, get neutral, more aggressive, and just basically in some fights be like, Oni, I just need you to put some stickies. Like, just pre-charge stickies, fire them out, put out damage. Space is going to smash them, come in and clean up. Or the opposite, Space, get out of the way, stay alive. Oni's going to go forward, he's going to take all the risks. If they can get a little bit of that structure in their team, they should win this division, like, quite comfortably, because it's definitely not the mechanics in this team holding them back. It's their approach to pressure, both in-game and, like, mentally.
So, with that being said...
Chocobro. Chocobro replacing as a merc for Ryan, for Poco. Interesting.
I think that's honestly a downgrade in terms of, definitely DM-wise, it's a bit of a downgrade.
How long has it been since Chocobo played Owl?
I think it's been a couple of seasons at the very least.
Yeah.
Unless he played last season.
I don't think he did.
I don't think he did, so... Yeah, I think his positioning has always been a bit suspect as a demo.
Let's hope this isn't his final fantasy.
Oh god,
so
Eggnormous. So, with all this being said, what do you think the outcomes of the maps are going to be tonight, Yukari and Eggnormous?
Oh, Eggnormous can go first.
I think Smug is going to take it just because they seem to have played together longer. And they just seem to have something really going. Like, they've got a pattern going and it's just working for them against these level teams.
What do you think the score's going to be?
I think it's going to be close. I think 5-3 for this map.
5-3? Alright.
Yeah.
What do you think, Yukari?
I think this every single Smug game should have two predictions. The one is if they play well, and the other is if they go all pinball machine. I think if Smug get it right and they really use what they're doing, because something that we neglected to mention is they've been scrimming some Div 1 teams, which is quite good. It teaches you a lot about how much damage can I put out, how much can I get away with against stronger level players, all that kind of stuff. I think I'm going to say Smug are going to come out, they're going to play well, everything's going to work for them, especially given that it's Chocobro demoing rather than Ryan, who I think is kind of play the same game, but Chocobro is less mechanically able to look after himself. I'm going to say 5-3 on Badlands, but it's going to be quite a confident 5-3, or 5-3 or 5-2. And then the next map is it Process? Or what's the next map they're playing? Yeah, okay. I feel like that is going to be a quite comfortable win for Smug. I'm going to say 5-1, because I think that's a much harder map for the pocket to really go big on, the way that Locke does. And secondly, I've always felt like that's just one of Smug's better maps.
Yeah. I think first map should be definitely closer. So Balance should definitely be closer than Process, so I'm going to give it a 5-3, 5-2 to Smug.
Yeah, because one thing that Smug do that I really, really like is if they get completely wiped on a mid, like the other team has a significant Uber advantage just considering pushing last. In a lot of situations, the first player that dies on Smug instantly goes engineer. Doesn't matter who it is. It can be Space. It can be Rand's sibling, so it can be one of the soldiers that was maybe going for an aggressive jump, or it could be Randy. And that's actually a really, really clever thing, because the first person to respawn is the person that's able to get the sentry up the fastest. And on Process, if you can get a sentry in a really, really good position, it's just so hard to push last. Like, you need to use your Uber to kill the sentry, but you also need your Uber to secure frags. Geomanus has been good at keeping the rotations on the scouts, so say if they have Rand Sibling go sentry, then they've got a sentry, they've got their pocket combo, and they've got these two buff scouts, really hard to get in on that. So I feel like it doesn't matter what happens, like like how poorly Smug struggle with the mental aspect, I think they're going to win process. Their last defenses are quite tenacious, and they have a really good understanding on process last. Maybe not so much other maps or points, but how to deal with Uber disadvantage on process last. They're very judicious about keeping their players buffed, taking one-on-one duels, playing around a sentry, all that kind of stuff.
Everyone knows the best secret to holding any last is the loose cannon anyway.
I hate you, Eggnormous.
I can't really talk given the last time you showed that off. My team was running 2 spies at one point.
I can't remember that.
Yeah.
I believe the triple pyro defense on process last was quite excellent. I think that's not even by Ozforce's rules, but you know, whatever. Nobody needs
Hopefully
to know that.
Ryan isn't dead, by the way. Hopefully he's still very much able to play video games, because, you know, it's never a good thing when a team is unable to run their core lineup. Especially when it's... I think most people would say these 2 teams are probably the stronger ones, the ones on lock for the 2 of the stronger teams. Like, these 2 teams should make finals.
Well, like, from what I've been seeing, so... I've seen Pojkarna been scrimming Karma Chameleon a bit, and Karma Chameleon, sorry, and they've been basically going 8-0, 7-0 map wins.
Yeah. Smug have been playing a mixture of teams from all across the brackets, everything from Unicycle to, I think they've played, sorry, not Rack, Yule Scepter once or twice, haven't they?
Ah, you mean Rack?
I see what you did there. But yes, they've been playing some stronger teams, which is you know, they've given some respectable performances, especially on process actually. Big Randy has joined us. You know, I'm really actually a little bit surprised that Randy didn't play Div 1 this season. I mean, it wouldn't have been the first time he tried to win $1,000 from a TF2 career, but you know.
Man, he can't escape Division 2, but Division 3.
But he's now in Division 2. Maybe that's why Smug can't win. They've got Randy. Randy's only allowed to win Div 3. He's outside of Div 3. The natural order of things must...
Something, Randy Div 3, something, where is Randy 4?
Yes.
Shoutouts to Randy's YouTube channel, I believe. The last video being all the way from 2013. I'd like to see a Randy 4 in the near future. I guess we have to stick with Randy 3, I guess.
Actually, that is probably something that we should mention. Randy playing for this team finally gives them a reliable sniper. Like, Smug have never had a particularly great sniper. I think the person that sniped for them last season was Tetrix, and he just couldn't make that work in the situations I remember doing it. Like, I don't know. Part of it was kind of how they played around the sniper, like because they were all playing as a unit rather than splitting up. They didn't have as much cover, but it wasn't working for them. So Randy can snipe quite a bit.
I think sniping is, you know, sniping all the time. I'd say it's not 100% on the player themselves. Like, if your team is always running around the ball, so you're going this 4 players in one area, a scout and a roamer. If like your scout or the roamer on the flank decides to off-class to snipe it, it's kind of a bit hard for him to effectively pressure if he's by himself, because whenever a team knows he's there and he's alone, like they will just send 2 players at him straight up, and if he gets 1 frag, he's gonna die, like regardless. So I think that's also partially the reason why Smug / Goggles from last season weren't the greatest sniper. Like, on Viaduct, they often just always ran 2 scouts, 2 soldiers, a demo, and the med.
They're
never
readying
opted.
up.
Oh, no, like, good stuff. Should be a good game then.
I think that just about covers anything. Is there anything that anyone else wants to add? Because the teams look like they've got 6 in the server. They're thinking about readying up. No, I think that just about covers everything.
Yeah. Brodogs, what do you think the score's going to be, Brodogs? Brodogs, please give a response.
I think Smug's going to take it 5-2, 5-3.
Oh, copying Starbucks' prediction.
Do you mean 5-2, 5-3? 5-2, 5-3.
I am not sure.
Oh dear.
Yeah, hopefully we can get this underway pretty soon.
So, map-specific stuff. Smug like to do valley rollouts. Actually, I think both teams like to do valley rollouts, so it's going to get real violent real quick on these mids. Oh, they're ready to go. Alright, lead us in, Brodogs.
So I'm just watching Chocobro on this first rollout. Looks like he's reasonably fast. And he's going to roll a house. He gets the pack. He's just sticking off the train, hasn't seen the demo yet, sees him on train, getting some nice damage down. And he's forced back by these soldiers, so that's his death space, just taking nice position on the crates. Takes out Lock, but falls to Alice. Neutral starting to clean up here in Valley, and it looks like only Zato's left for Pojkarna. He's falling out choke, and he will get out, but he's just having... Oh, he's just going back in for a flank, he's fighting house, and he managed to pick up Ransling, so... That's a nice frag, he's still just trolling around corner.
I think Ren Sibling's decision there was kind of a bit suspect. I think he should have just definitely got a scout with his team and just fought him when he was still in choke. There's like no reason not to, and it eliminates the risk of Zeta coming back in.
Did you see the demo battle, Egg? Do you know what happened there?
Yeah, so just got a bit of lag at the moment. Yeah.
Right. Well, from what I saw, Ren Sibling just got a kill on the demo and then was able to put damage on scouts. Randy got the medic, kind of fell apart from there.
What did I say earlier? Ran Sibling? He's the one?
Yeah, he got a good entry, yeah. I mean, the thing that's a really good example of kind of how the smug system works. Randy gets the Ren Sibling gets the entry kill they need, like that first kill as Randy goes out, down fight, then they're fighting for Spire, and then they kind of play off that. So now looks like they're having a Spire battle. Space has hit some good rockets, but I think his med's going to get trapped and killed, so this Geo down. Smug going to get loose.
And Oni's getting the hell out of there.
Yeah, that was a little bit disconnected. They didn't really play as a team. No focus fire, Space and Geo trapped in bad positions. Ren Sibling gets a player in house. Red house.
He goes down too.
Yeah.
Is that
Oh,
Randy?
he's making plays, no one's looking at him.
Oh, Randy forces Uber.
That's a really good play from Randy there, just sneaking around, gets a good force now, and they can't... I don't think...
Space playing really aggressively on lock, but no support. That's a good example of where Space is a little bit too fast for his team. And that's going to cost them Oni at resup as well, and neutral. So
It's going to cost them.
Wow.
It's going to cost them style. Like they've given up the entirety of Grey Bridge doing that because they have no
Alice.
players at all.
Big. Lock going for a really aggressive play out of the medic. Doesn't work out, but Geo's gets wiped by Zato. Okay. Really aggressive push up from Podge onto last while they're capping. Looks like they'll cap.
Zato and Alice just went M there. Zato just single-handedly decided to walk in around top and just shoot everyone else. He got a couple of frags and assisted an hour too. It's good stuff from him.
Are you in a position to call anything, Egg, or are you still lagging?
I will slowly do my best.
Alright, so tell us what you see on this med, maybe from a
Watching
demo man perspective,
Lock.
because Oni's not getting a lot done.
Chocobro's quite forward, like he's gonna get bombed if the... Yep, there it is. But he's medics with him now, so he's okay.
And we see Ren Sibling kind of just defaulting into this pseudo pocketing role as he had to fall back to his med. And as a result, Smug's combo just kind of gets boxed in the corner, but they are getting some nice trade frags.
Yeah,
And
Chocobro's...
Damn,
Alice wins a duel
really
against...
putting it up big.
Yeah, Alice wins a duel against Neutral, but I think they're quite happy to let this go to Smug because they've all been pressured out corner, and I don't think they can recontest because they definitely don't have the players yet. Unless they
Yeah,
want to go in with Uber.
I felt like if they'd pushed up and worked as a team, that mid could have gone to a Podge, but Geo and Space did the right thing, chilled and reset, got healed, and then they walked around corner and they've Ubered. That's... I don't know about that.
I think this is a
Traded
pretty
Uber's
brave...
corner. Red
This is a
corner.
pretty brave decision by
Space is really going in.
Space may end up dying. Ransomman goes downstairs, but actually everyone's smug is just taking a lot of damage, and they've been unable to focus any of Pojkarna's players, even though they're all low.
They had a really good position there, but they didn't follow. They just weren't able to hit shots and follow it up. Like, there were players that were definitely killable for their scouts, but it didn't happen. And so Pojkarna wiped them again, take mid. It's a really solid Uber from Locke. He just basically didn't panic. He knew that space coming around the corner with about 3 or 4 seconds Uber used, had to force something, just stood his ground, and they wiped them in the post battle.
Oh,
Geoman is
Well,
real sad right
doing
now.
so much work.
So Justin, Geoman is trying to drop down from the top lobby to heal Oni down the bottom. I think they should have just left in that situation.
Yeah, Locke really punished them for.
As soon as Oni opened the roller door,
been
Locke
forced
knew he
though.
was there.
Yep.
They do get
Oh,
really
and then
forced.
Sibling gets out. That's really good. They might be able to hold last. They don't look too set up. Oh, 3 kills for Oni. Sticky's on point. Stickies are pretty good. Oh. Okay,
Chocobro.
I really feel like Chocobro should have got more done there. All of those players are killable. He just wasn't able to hit the shots.
Randy's
low they all are.
taking a very long route to Spire, which might cost their team some cap time, but oh well, they should get it quite
Kind of
comfortably.
lose the last push.
Randy
And
gets spammed across Spire.
it looks like second point Spire will go to Smug, but they're defending from bridge and they're having a hard time. But
Yeah,
space gets.
they're losing
up.
players because Randy did take that long route to Spire. That means he was lit as soon as he got there. So
And
that
died
one
for
spam
rocket.
that one spam rocket cost them the hold, because I think inevitably you always need scouts when you're retaking Spire, because it just stops soldiers taking ground because they can't jump. And if demos like ignore you, they just fight on grab bridge.
It's a real struggle for Randy right now. He's not having any impact at all.
Yeah, hopefully he's not crumbling.
He's not putting out the damage. He's not in the right places. He's died like before fights have begun, and it's just opened up their combo to dying. Like space is getting forwarded by like 2 or 3 players every time. Or Oni. And I mean, Uber in top left. Pyro denying them quite a bit.
Pyro is a class in TF2.
I really like the way that was handled by Podge. Like, they just understood that they had to walk in and
Well,
keep...
I think Smugger's having the better end of this trade. They still have the demo and Ransom
Okay,
can help.
Zeta just walked
Okay,
point.
this is
Did he come
why-
from the left?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the bottom left, Red Sibling saw him but wasn't able to kill him in time, and they didn't really react. That was... Yeah, Smug just... I mean, really dropping 2 rounds to really avoidable stuff. Stuff that you would expect better.
So,
And,
who are you watching on mid, Eggnormous?
I'm watching Oni. He's there fast. He's already done damage to the demo and he's holding train, but he's in trouble.
Oh, he gets
got
fucking air shove as a man.
where was the player? Where were players defending him there? There was no help.
Nowhere.
Space does a reasonable job of denying. Yeah, that's no scout on train, no defense there at all for Oni, and he gets picked off as well. He's not getting a lot of room to move this game.
They're not balling.
No, they're not. They're not playing as a ball at all.
Be the ball.
And that's another thing that is a problem that you don't really see on the scoreboard with Oni. Sometimes he has a tendency to have these really poorly timed deaths, like straight up terribly timed deaths, because he gets too aggressive or he gets too greedy, and it just really costs his team, because you can lose a round dying once as demo if it's at the wrong time.
Yeah.
So defensive last for Smug, blue last. They're running a sniper on neutral, okay. And they're having a pyro as well, an Uber v Uber exchange. Looking set to happen at top.
Yeah, so what do you think they should be... What do you think Pojkarna should be doing to try to take this last?
Well, I don't really think it matters what they do. They're 2-0 up, but more than that, just take the time, find out where the off-classing players are, what off-class is being run. Oh, they
they just
went
got
bottom
run
left
down.
and just got a pick. Yeah, that's really good. Just play slow, don't panic. It's the right way to play these Uber exchanges. Don't force anything, don't be silly, just take it. Oh, Space Uber's in top right. This is a really good Uber. Space at his best. Just Uber's in top right, catches a scout and a soldier.
I hope they're watching bottom left this time. There they are. Ooh, so much
Nevertheless, Sumoj gets 2
Oh,
kills.
okay.
Randy couldn't defend last as scout. Goes
Like
extra
heavy.
far.
Throw
That's
time.
fine. It's fine, guys.
That's
They
a real
defend
shame there. Smug, like if they'd had better awareness, better positioning, they could have done that. And Space thinks he has a window to go for an aggressive dive on the enemy med at Grey Bridge, Blue Spire, but doesn't work out. He might
Mog's
die.
trying to punish for it. No, it's alright.
Oh, he dies to Chocobo from
Oh.
bottom. Yeah, that wasn't the
See,
best way to.
That's kind of the problem when you're sitting on balcony and you're going for this kind of aggression on the enemy team when you have no backup, because if no one's watching roller doors, that demo's just gonna walk in and he's gonna throw a sticky from the entrance and you're gonna die every time.
It should be said that they had two good picks there, Smug. They just lost two players to two 1-on-1s against Aroma, which really shouldn't happen. Neutral sniping again, hit some shots. I wonder if the fact that Randy's not sniping is a reflection of his lack of confidence. So we've got another Uber v Uber situation, defending Smug's last. They actually had about, what, 20% Uber disadvantage, but it wasn't used by Podge. So they're also, Pojkarna are holding quite a bit far back now on top. They're afraid of Space's Uber, I think.
Well, they shouldn't be, because they have Uber too. Randy's just, giving them the old mind games, just walking back and forth.
Oh, and
Doing good
Space walks
damage.
in top and Ubers again. He should be able to get out.
Yeah,
he's blocking the
he's
door.
fine.
I mean, honestly, it's actually completely right for Space to do this. If he's managing his Uber correctly, they're never ever going to get caught. They're never going to lose the trade. And by taking both Ubers out of the equation and not losing anything, at least he's trying to create a situation, which is better than just sitting at last with two Ubers looking at each other.
It's ultimately the attacking team always has to be making the play to do defense. I'm pretty sure most teams defending last and bounds just quite happy to sit there waiting for the other team to jump into them.
So I've got a question for you, Eggnormous. If you're Oni in this situation, you're defending last, and you know the other team's stacking up, like to the point where you can walk out and Uber out that top door as a pocket and force the Uber and get out, would you consider working the floor? Like, would you consider playing more aggressively, just being like, yeah, my team's going to watch last?
So Oni's taken a different approach with the bottle against the wall and the spray, but
left drop Uber, what? And killed the demo, and
Space
ran
doing
killed
work.
Zato.
Look at this.
And Lock goes down. This is a really good Uber
And this-
situation. Yeah.
Well done, Space. Again, Space at his best.
Neutral
And-
neutral gets caught though.
That's
Unfortunately.
fine, I think. Like, they only dropped one player to the Roma this time, which now means they can cap Space, making really aggressive plays at corner. Oh wow, it gets some Zato. Really nice.
Oh, he's
Space
Chocobo's
kills
in the wall.
Space!
Alright.
God
He
damn.
keeps getting these picks. It's a bit brave there. If Chocobo landed one pipe, it would have gone down. But
He had faith in Oni to back him up and get the player trade, so... Smug get off last. They get onto mid.
that's
They
good.
start capping mid with a two-player advantage,
They have-
which is a demo.
they have all the presents. So
Oh, Oni!
What happened?
He popped a scout running away invalid and lobbed one over the top of the roof.
So
I was crying.
Oni's going for Red Spire, and he's sitting on it.
He's
Nobody's
pain train.
contesting
He's
it.
gonna jump.
Enemy pockets.
Oh, he
Lock
gets
just got
the
piped
pipe.
with Spire. Ran Sibling dies on the flank though, and Randy's
so
out
it
of
didn't
position.
drop and okay. The
Yeah,
problem
I didn't
there
back
is
out.
they didn't realize that there was a soldier sitting in race up the whole time, so they kind of just dropped it there.
Yeah, and now Podge are trying to come in and force the corner. Space, it's a good air shot on Zumoch. Doesn't
Too much
stop
kills
him, but
himself. It's fine.
yeah. Unfortunately, that also means that Smug now have no Uber, and Geo's backing out Valley. Oh, Space really pushed out at corner, and he will die.
I
That's
think
what
Gio's
played-
gonna go down. Actually, no. He's fine.
Oni made it out in trash on 16.
Ran Sibling picks up left. Will Geo
Uh,
live? Oh,
yes,
he does
no,
not.
that was very unlucky.
4 HP. Oni gets a kill bottom, so all in all, even though they win the Uber exchange, then lose their medic, Pojkarna take Blue Spire.
A neutral gets the return frag now as he leaves.
I just, like, Smug again kind of played the opposite of the way they usually like to play. Instead of balling up as a unit and going for that fight, you had Oni capping the Spire, and then you had their flank actively pushing Reese up and dying one-on-one. That's, again, not the way that Smug usually like to play, and it really cost them, because if they just all played around Oni on Spire, they would have capped it 100%.
Yeah, this
Somehow,
gives...
yeah, Space kind of got a trade on the enemy pocket at Red's recent fight. I don't even know.
Yeah, this kind of gives more room for Pojkarna to work around. We see Zuma just try to jump Spy, but he gets the knife by the stickies and Randy just jumping at him.
Okay, so Smug did a good job of getting that first kill. They're going to get a second one.
Oni jumps onto launchpad trying to get more aggressive and force the other team out with the stickies to choke. And they back out to mid.
Yeah, Oni in space walking in at corner, spamming out Chocobo's in real trouble. Randy does the right thing, picks up that kill. First actual high impact kill Randy's had all game. They wipe them at corner. No, they can't chase. They cannot wipe them at corner.
So, Eggnormous, what would you do when you're pushing into second as demo, when you have equal Ubers?
So,
I might go house or just delay from choke. If it's even.
So, apparently,
just to recap, Pojkarna lost their demo. They couldn't contest Spire. They threw a soldier. They threw Zumodge at the med to try and force Uber. Didn't work. Solid movement from Geo. And now it's Uber v Uber with Smug pushing last. Well, Space has been able to get right in bottom left onto the point and
it drops left.
Okay.
Wow.
It's still going to be hard for them to cap though. Oh no, never mind. Randy and neutral pick up kills. It's 2-1 to Podge. That was
a long round. That was a 10-minute round.
Quick fight for last though, and that's 2 Uber drops from left. And a lot of people talk a lot about Meds dropping Ubers. Oh, Meds shouldn't drop this, drop that, and it's true. You shouldn't drop the 2 Ubers that left us drop to Space, but give credit to Space for just walking around a corner with an Uber and going to be like, I'm going to fight you. That kind of ambition is how you get those miracle moments where you force the other team to make mistakes. And Ren's sibling picks up Chocobro in this mid, just goes straight in. Oh, really nice mid from Smoke. We're getting it together now. Yeah. Did Oni get jumped, or did he just survive lots of spam and trades? And that's all of Podge getting wiped.
I think Sibling was the real hero of that mid. He got the... Did he get that demo really quick?
There were a lot of good things there.
That's what I like about Ren Sibling. He's just so effective at it.
I think he got a kill. He went back through house and he just stopped the other team because Neutral and Randy just pushed the other team's combo through Valley, which is honestly what you want to do when you've won mid. You want to get your scouts and you want to push them through. And
credit to Oni, he stayed alive. He did everything he could in some nice surfing to stay alive there, which let Space go, well, my demo's not dead, I can just take ground. So Smugger moving in top left to last. They get 1 kill, they get locked bottom, but they're pushing into a heavy sentry. This is going to be hard. No, the heavy's too strong. Secures a kill on Oni and a kill on Randy. I don't think pushing a scout soldier into a team with a heavy sentry defending is going to work that often.
I think they were a bit too eager there because honestly, if you have a big Uber ad because the yellow med went down, you should take that that 5 seconds survey. You got to find out where that sentry is. You got to see if they're running a heavy or some sorts.
Yeah, because if they've taken that time and pushed with a demo soldier to that last point, I think they would have secured 2 kills and not lost any players. And against a sentry and a heavy, trading players you're done. But if you can get 2 players and you've still got your demo and your soldiers up and you can just kind of passively spam them down, there's a much better chance of that working out for you. So yeah, Smug, I think just take that extra bit of time. We've got 100% Uber. Let's see what we need to do. And both teams have reset, but Smug not even in lobby. They're defending Red Spire and Red team sitting the last.
Yeah, so they left just stopped healing. He was on 50% while Geomanos was on 20 and they just stopped healing, so they just lost all bad. So now it's a reset.
I'd like to see, honestly, some aggression out of Smug scouts pushing this last. I think there's a lot of room to just spam aggressively a door and throw a scout in and just, force an Uber. I'd really like to see that. Feels like Neutral and Randy haven't really found their way into this game yet. They're not. I don't know what the stats say, but their impact doesn't feel like it's all there. So give them a chance. Spam. Oh, they're moving in top left with a scout.
So we have Ren Sibling and Space just trying to send. That was not a good idea. They kind of walked into the heavy.
Oh, he's gonna go down as well.
I don't really know what Space were thinking there. I mean, that was an Uber exchange. You can't Uber a demo into a demo scout into one soldier like that and expect it to work. Locked just does the right thing and shreds them.
Can I just say, this would be all over and done with if either demos used the loose cannon. really
I hate
happens.
you, Eggnormous.
So effective.
Okay, so Space did a really aggressive jump on the Spire. It died, but he got his team the
You got the
room.
yellow med.
Yeah, and Red Siblings able to get the med. So
Randy was trying to do it for
dear.
the last play there.
trades happening.
Locke
Smugglers
decides
their
to go. Yeah, Locke just went ham, did a jump, and got the shotgun on the med.
Will Neutral be able to cap? Neutral, watch this. Oh dear, he took his eyes off the soldier and died to spam rockets.
If Oni popped his stickies there, Alice would have died. But
Yeah.
he decides to jump away. This is kind of a reset because none of the team, G-Manus isn't healing for it, so left is actually building significant Uber advantage, at least
Smug
20 right now.
just feel very disconnected. Like I feel like the only player other than Ren Sibling on mids where he's got the opportunities. I feel like the only person that's actually forced anything for them has been Space this game, and credit to him for doing that. But against a team that's pocket centric, it just hasn't worked out. So Locke's playing really aggressively in house with a heavy and manages to get a kill on Ren Sibling. Oh dear, surprise heavy.
It might also be interesting to note that left currently is on 230 ping.
Perhaps that was playing a reason in why he dropped the Ubers. I wasn't looking at ping.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's been that the whole time, but he's definitely been down the last 3 minutes.
Uber push coming into mid around a heavy and soldier. Zato's been heavy this entire time instead of scout. And somehow they managed to force Smug's Uber first. I'm not sure about that one. Although Smug Space picks up a kill on the oh no, this worked out really well. That was good. It's a lot to be said for the fact when you only have one scout, it's really hard to take.
Oni's doing heaps here.
Yes.
Oh, that double soldier just shredded the corner.
It's destroyed.
It's only Alice alive, and he can't really do much because they know he's there. He's just gonna get forced out. He might even die.
Oh, cheer man.
G-Manus
Gets his
nice,
second Eric. So
no.
there's a few things to talk about there, and one is the heavy was really good at helping get that entry kill, that first kill for
Oni's in.
the
Oni's
Podge
in at
to mid.
last.
Oh wow,
No, he's
Oni's.
No, he's not. He's back.
But I mean, they forced Smug's Uber, but other than forcing the Uber, what did Podge really do in that situation? They didn't get any damage on anyone. They lost the soldier for forcing it. And
I think
their own Uber was forced really early.
The big problem was that Zato not playing Scout. That post Uber situation is
Scout
really
follow-up.
difficult because
Space Uber to
he's
top
only gonna
left gets a soldier.
All right, they top right. I think. Okay, that's interesting. They're gonna get
Space gets a second player.
They need to be baiting the
yeah,
point
they've
right
got
now.
him.
Okay, they've got top
Smuggling
there.
and a
This
cap.
is-
Oh yeah, Oni's
it
just
should be a
putting stingers
2-0.
all over and no one's getting on it.
So, that Uber used by Space there, really, really good decision. Just got them a kill. Actually, ended up getting them a second one. But what a lot of people are so obsessed in this game with getting the medic kill or getting the demo kill. Now, what Space did there was he not only got a kill, he got the soldier. He also set up a second kill in the heavy, but he also took one side of the point. That can be enough to cap if your team is aggressive and play around it, like Smug did. So it's on mid, and Zato got. Did he take it direct to the face there? Because he got absolutely destroyed. And Oni picks up the counter-jumping soldier. Looks like Smug have this round. Whether or not they'll get the med, not sure, but yep, they win. Take med. Any comments on why they went the way it did?
They just
Chokero
created
might
so
die
much
in
space.
Spire. He does. Randy gets him. Randy really starting to come into this game.
Randy gets a bash kill. Good stuff, Randy. I approve.
Okay, Randall. And Locke's... Oh, Locke, Geo, little bit too keen to hold onto an Uber, drops it as Human Space try to push into the lobby. But that said, Smug do manage to take Spire.
Time has been added.
Okay, so any comments on that mid-fight and why it turned out the way it did?
Think.
Yeah, they just basically gave Oni space to not take damage. He just then supported them back. It was like a big circle.
Yeah, do you feel like that the observations that Star and I were kind of making at the pre-show are kind of quite holding true?
Yeah,
when Oni's
definitely.
getting that space, he's
Oni's
just
gonna make me
tearing
sick.
people apart, but he's not quite been able to win them bad situations yet. So again, Pojkarna set up with a heavy and a sentry for last, and I don't really like this. I feel like having a scout like right out there in your face, ready to fight, is really powerful. But you know, it's worked for them so far.
Crits from bottom. Crits from bottom. Need to focus the heavy.
They haven't done much with his crits other than force the enemy's Uber, and might cost Oni his life. No,
Oh, he
no?
got away.
Okay, so what Smug did there, they did this really effective job of splitting like all their players, so they made walk back up into, you know, that drop down area. Oni just surfed that rocket backwards.
He didn't just surf the rocket, he surfed the hit scan. He jumped when the scout was shooting at him and he got pushed away. It was a really nice little piece of movement from Oni.
And then they didn't really know who to focus, so obviously they started shooting the demo because he's a more important target, but I mean, everyone just got out clean. So
And now, due to the crits, they're going to be able to push in Crits Creek very soon, and Hodge won't have Uber. Here we go, Oni's looking for it, he's going in top left. Absolutely fucks up the pyro, even if he doesn't get the kill.
Oh, they got a
Space
sense
gets up yeah, and that should be another cap for Smug.
Yeah,
cap
this
a third
is
round.
3-2. This might be a 5-3 prediction.
And that is the first half.
Alright, so any comments there, Yukari and Eggnormous?
Space played out of his fucking mind.
I think if Smug can keep this momentum going, they should be able to take Process very easily. But it might be quite even if it goes the other way around.
Yeah, well, three big questions for me. Number one, we kind of saw the lack of Ryan. Chocobro he wasn't able to put out the damage that Ryan would have. There were some situations where it just felt like Oni walked all over him on mid. One thing I like about Oni is he tries to force things sometimes. Like, he really tries to force up even situations. Something that Yuri does really well. He'll just, like, Badlands last, Immunity's defending last. He'll just sit at the bottom of last and try and force something with stickies when they're set up. Like, Oni never stopped trying to force things that game, even if it didn't always work out. But yeah, I think Space monstered that half. Like, every good situation that wasn't off a mid where Rand Sibling was able to find a pick, it felt like Space really forced it. On the reverse, where on earth was Smug scouts? They usually do a lot better.
Yeah, neutral went 9-12, Randy 11-14. Randy was solid 130 DPM, neutral marginally better with 170. Space definitely, he monster. He did about 8k damage in that 25, so he had the most frags a good amount of times too, so he was 24-14 at the end. I think. Yeah.
I mean, if I was Podge, even though I don't have the core demo, I'd be pretty happy with how that half went. Honestly, they actually forced a lot of good situations. They did a team. I think their team play was pretty good, but man, if I was Smug, I'd be a little bit disappointed with the performance. I mean, I don't know what it was with their initiations, but you can't rely on your pocket to force everything. I think, and you can't. I don't know. I feel like Randy and Neutral, when this team is struggling, they usually do a lot better. So we'll have to see what they offer in the next half. And
so, just a general observation with both team scouts. None of them have been really looking to fight at all. Like, I've seen Alice on a number of Uber pushes from his team, just like when they were pushing mid, he decided to walk around house and then took one look at their other team's Uber and just decided to fuck off back to resub.
Yeah,
and that was the same push with Zeto on heavy, and that's kind of why they lost, because they didn't actually have a scout at all in that push, because Alice had gone back to resub to get health instead of just waiting for the pack, and then Zeto was just stuck behind train.
I was making fun of Randy a little bit, but something that Randy did really well this half, and something that scouts should take notice of, there were some situations where Randy just wasn't hitting shots, wasn't doing damage, wasn't having impact, but what Randy did do very well in that latter half when Smug were able to turn around, he realised there were certain situations where he just had to go in, even if he doesn't miss the shots, even if he gets like double air piped, even if he just gets embarrassed by the other team, he had to go in, he had to fight. And there was one really important situation where he just kept chasing. No, there were two. There were two really important situations where he pushed really aggressively across the point on mid and Inspire. Yeah, and just killed the enemy demo and won his team the fights. So, Egg, you want to call this mid?
Watching Choco Bro.
Oh, not live. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Do you have any observations, Eggnormous, since you've been denied your fun at casting the mid?
It just feels like Chocobo hasn't had a good warm up. It feels like he hasn't done this in a while, and seems like he's a bit slowed for what his team's trying to achieve, like because he doesn't obviously play with them usually. And whereas Smug obviously have their core there tonight. I mean, the demo man's so important. I think this could be a different game with Ryan.
Do the two of you think it's a good sign that Smug went 2-0 down and clawed it back to a 3-0? And to add another question to that, do you think it's a good sign that let's be honest, the person that was the real engine room of their comeback was Space? Not just in the stats, but in the impact, constantly trying to force things. Those aggressive Ubers in top when defending last. It does aggressive Ubers onto Pojkarna's last. Do you feel like that's a good sign, or...?
I definitely think it's a good sign for this team if they come back from any sort of deficit, like any sort of significant deficit in the half and come back strong and win it. Like, it definitely means they're showing a kind of stronger mental game this time, not really letting this sort of tilting affect their team. Because from what I've heard from some sources is that they kind of get a bit angry if they're losing a fair bit, but they're alright.
Yeah, and from what I remember, the main calling does come from the combo in this team, so when your combo is quite dominant like that, it's a good sign, get a bit of confidence going. So now we're starting mid, and let's give this mid to Egg cast, because he's denied the last one. Call it out.
I'm watching Chocobro again. Oh, he's doing the slow rollout. This is going to be interesting. Have they paused?
I believe they have.
Oh, thank God, I thought my net crashed.
Jackson, your net crashed. You have been trolled?
A pause, huh? Great. That's no fun.
So let's see where Oni is. He's already at window. I predict Oni's going to do some early damage to Choco, and then Rand Sibling's going to meet Shadow on him with a rocket launcher.
One thing that sticks out to me actually is how easily both teams have been able to kill the other team's demo on mids. There are a couple of situations where we saw two players aggressively pushing across at Oni in the last half, and nobody really did anything about it. So now we're going to mid again. Back to you.
We're back again. Space has been launched up in the air. He's going to die from this. So Lock's also low.
Alright, it seems like Zato went ham this mid. You got 4 frags? Decided to walk across, shot everything you saw, and you got frags.
Both medics are still up though.
No, they're dead. They're dead. The deal is to make Eggnormous. Am I imagining things?
Hang on, I think I'm lagging still.
The
Okay.
HUD is gonna.
Yeah, you have to retry to set the HUD because the HUD won't show dead players. Because TF2. Okay, Space finally gets picked off trying to force the top at control point. Dies there. That's
It was. Oh. No. Actually, it probably was. Can't remember.
Oh dear. Zato just walked in and 1v1 Randy on heavy. Randy, please.
Oh, Randall,
Space
please.
left the game.
Yeah, that's why the force happened. So that kind of sucks.
That last hold was incredibly awkward by Smug. Nobody was looking bottom left. That was I'd be really frustrated if I was Smug. It just sucks too. I mean, a huge part of that is on the players on the left side. They didn't even look bottom left, and a scout ran in and killed Randy on heavy. A little bit embarrassing. And Rand's sibling died. Like, they just basically lost one-on-one duels to people running through a choke point, which, I mean, let's be honest, that shouldn't happen. So we go to the next mid. Anyone want to call it?
I'm watching Oni this time.
Oh, Ren Sibling's gone
just-
Spire.
Oh. So Oni's staying in his house, sticking out. He's kind of a bit
Playing it safe.
cautious. He's waiting for that front soldier. He sees him across the point, but they're not really targeting, so I think he has a bit of room to walk forward, but he hasn't really done any something
I
forward.
think he did 0 damage.
I don't really understand what Ren Sibling did there. He got behind them in their house and then didn't really force anything with it. I mean, it's great when you get behind a team, but you have to do something with that advantage you've taken.
I think this is going to cost.
Oh dear, Oni can hit the shots.
Oh, it gets a nice balance, but he lets his med die. And
Neutral trying to force the Uber. Oh,
I feel like
neutral.
if he dropped down for just that 2 seconds, Geomanus had the Uber because he was on 95.
And full Uber advantage pushing last with Pojkarna.
Should be easy push.
Just hit the loose cannon.
Shut up, Eggnormous.
Pyro denying them top left. Locke probably not able to get as much onto this Pyro as he'd hoped. Oh, he still hasn't even killed it. And the heavy, neutral denying them hard. I don't know how Space died, but it looks like Smug will hold. Big Randall with the Pyro plays.
Oh, but Locke is walking back in.
Locke
Alex
might be
gets
in
a nice
trouble
frag.
here.
So much. Okay, so alright, this is kind of a weird thing going on right now because
Chocobo just needs to
Chocobo is
stick
able
this.
to just. But it's just unless he gets everyone's
Oh,
low,
dear.
so yeah, it's unlucky.
That was.
He can't do his roller.
Did Smug just hit like missed shots there? Because there was an opening where I felt like they could have won that.
Yeah, they kind of let Locke walk in and just push everyone like off the top. So it's 4-3 now in favour of Pojkarna.
Responding very well to being 3-0 down. 3-2 down half time.
Yeah, so I want to watch Oni again. Hopefully he's doing more things. But he's kind of getting sticky out in window and...
Oh, Randy just instantly gets in on the
Okay,
demo.
Randall just smashed the demo. Okay, Oni's walking forward now, trying to get these
Oh, dear.
players down.
Randy doing
but-
everything he can to keep his team in the game right now.
No, it just kind of seems a bit futile because a lot of their players didn't even shoot in that mid.
Oh dear, Randy.
Big poor Randall.
Okay, somehow
Okay,
Oni just
Zoo.
got a kill. That they
Oni
can hold.
gets the kill with the stick and jump.
I'm really, I don't know, like...
They
It
should
felt
be able to
like the
ho-
scouts of Podge could just push through under that mid and kill everything.
Yeah. This should be fine push, hold for Smug because they're fully bad though. I think
And they've got
Space might wanna
26 minutes to even this up.
just depending how he feels.
Alright, so Smug trying to force the Super by walking in at corner. I don't know if they'll get anything with this. Doesn't look like they will. Oh no, they get a soldier. Okay, that's enough. They can try and work it off that. Chocobo committing in really hard at corner, trying to force it, and Randy gets him. Nice job, Randy. Rand Sibling also gets a player at house. That was a little bit greedy from Pojkarna. I mean, you lost one player, you forced through, but that sometimes you just got to be happy with that. They could well lose Spire.
I think they will.
They do have an Uber. They do want to contest with this Uber. They contest with the Uber and they still lose Spire. So, Ren Sibling's in behind them. He gets a soldier, dies to a medic arrow. These trades have all given Smug a full Uber advantage. They haven't pushed in yet. I think, not sure why. And we're seeing the engineer heavy setup again with no scouts, but defending last from Pojkarna.
Yeah, so this is a pretty nice kind of events for us. Hopefully they can even this up and force it. But they still got 50% move rad, so go quick and they see the heavy and the sentry. Sentry's
They
kind
are in
of
bottom right, okay.
this might be a good decision because they're going to take down the sentry immediately. They have room, but Locke gets the nice frag around Sibling and Zeta goes down.
On is baiting point.
Yeah, on. Okay,
This
this
is
just forced
gonna be-
everyone.
Neutral's gonna have to go
Alright.
big here. I think they all dropped to the point and Space wasn't able to hold the top right side.
Yeah, they kind of through that. Like, that should have been an easy round. If Oni didn't jump around the point for some reason, he just stood there, because they had the entirety of top right controlled. If he just spams down his demo with sticks or with pipes even, he controls the entire ground for Smug, but they didn't do that, because I think everyone decided to jump on the point to cap it really quickly, but it just didn't happen, so...
Do you feel that was a mistake, Egg, to not bring the demo in on that push? They could have maybe
Absolutely.
caught another player?
Absolutely, I think Badlands last is one of the most important demo last pushes.
And in a way, as demo, if you go in with an Uber like that, you can spend 4 or 5 stickies, maybe get a pick, then you can back out, and then your scouts come in, then you can go in again and get more stickies off. And you just
That's
have
right.
your demo come in late for cleanup like that. And when you have one of your scouts that you went in with Uber, he used all his shots, he couldn't do much post Uber. Seemed a bit odd. Okay, is Ren Sibling trying to force Uber here?
I know.
They're holding quite far back now, they're not even in the lobby.
Oh,
You
Got a
can't...
pick though. Got a nice pick.
Whoops.
He's giving the guitar taunt, he's having fun.
Kari, do you think this is a potential time? Oh, it is the spy up class. This
no,
is
the
gonna be
Ren
fun.
Sibling spy. We've talked
So
about it. Now we're gonna
let's get on the Ren Sibling spy cam and see if he can, get the stab on the med. Or...
Oh, MM1 trash talk. Oh, this game is providing everything.
Let's watch the spy play, shall we?
I believe
so
M1
keen.
is banned in Oz Fortress, so
He's disguised as a sniper. This is bold.
No, this is how you want to do it. You want to make them fear. Oh, look at that. It's even got a rotating scout bottom. Ren Sibling playing with the minds of Pojkarna right now.
Ren Sibling just showing how it's done on the spy right now. He's with mind games. Well, they don't see him. This might be.
Oh, disguising
You have
as
a
enemy
sniper now.
Oh. No, Ren Sibling, revolver.
Okay,
Medic's
so
turned to
the
29.
problem there is
Okay, they Uber in
Alice.
top left. What?
That was either the greatest distraction play of a lifetime or just.
That was not the greatest distraction play of a
That
lifetime
was-
as Geomantis
that was-
dies.
Okay, so the problem there is Alice went sniper and saw the person peeking under that was, that ran sibling on that spy, and he decided to walk around and be like, oh, and he punches the medic a couple of times to no avail, so maybe next time.
I
Zumash
really
goes down
feel
by
like
Randy.
that was a misplay. Like, I don't even think it's a bad idea when you're having a spy go into walk in and try and spam. To commit totally with Uber.
Looks like it's some good damage here, and Oni's just cleaning up.
Oh wow, Randy gets the medic. And
Especially-
surprise heavy bottom right.
Oh, it's fine. Oh, Randy, come on, mate. Come on, Randall. You fought harder opponents in this.
Good shots from
In the
space to
heavy.
get a double kill at Spire.
Doesn't cap
He
yet.
does
Oh.
die, but that Oni will cap.
Yeah, it's good stuff from Oni.
Yeah, good stuff from Oni and
Can he hit it?
and Space and Randy there.
This is roughly 45% Uberad for Geomantis, so they should have another crack with actual Uberad.
Yeah.
Maybe this time they will bring the actual demo in and they won't all die falling to the point. Just a thought.
I really think they should do some demo pushes with these Ubers. I haven't done one yet. Let's try it because. Oh,
see
Space is going in
oh,
bottom
they're
right
trying
again. He
to-
really
they're trying
likes
to
this
go
bottom
bottom
right push. I don't really get this
The
bottom
problem
right push
is-
in this situation.
He can't just get denied, he's going on the point.
Space
but-
jumped above the point, but unfortunately there's a heavy
Oh,
there.
Zeta has...
However, Ren Sibling is raining down shots on the enemy demo. Oh no, never mind, they get wiped.
Where's
Or
Oni?
not. Oni's able to pipe Alice, and Ren Sibling's able to get Zeta.
Alright.
There's still some mileage in
Alright.
this.
Oh,
Where's Oni?
Hit some pipes, Oni. Hit the medic, Oni. He's not going to hit the medic.
Oh boy.
Again, I just
so-
don't understand what these bottom right pushes with the Soldier Scout accomplish when you know
I-
don't know there's anything there.
For that to be effective, you want to pick a Roma and a Scout who usually stand there, but they knew Zeta was on heavy. The other Scout, I think, was on right side, or their left, I suppose. So,
Again, it's a lack of patience, I think, and it's doing one strategy over and over again. This is a problem that actually also comes up with some of Ran Siblings' shell. It's great that you're prepared to push bottom right. It's a really good idea. It stops the other team's Roma and Scout on that side from really pushing up aggressively and contesting the top door with spam. But I mean, let's be brutally honest here. If you do it every single game, the other team's just going to spam you out, and then you don't get anything done. And secondly, again, Smug, despite having the time to go, where are their players holding? What players can we kill? And then pick a good decision with their Uber. Or Ubering a player that wasn't this soldier-scout combo. They're doing the same thing, again, in the same situation, and failing, without testing the waters to see where the other team is. You know, something definition of insanity, something is what's going on right now for them.
So, alright, Yukari, so give us your soldier insight pushing even Uber's Badlands last right now, if you're space.
I don't think it's important how they push this Uber. Like, where they go, what door. I think what is important is the processes. How forward are their players? Where are their players? Can we force an Uber? Can we spam them out? They're not
Rance
doing
is
anything.
down.
They're just walking into them.
Oh, Space is gonna get caught out. No, he's good.
Oh no, he should be fine. That was kind of strange.
There's a number of different ways that you could push this last. You could do an aggressive push and try and secure some players on a side, or kill the sentry, and then play off advantage. You could run a sniper or spy and play. You could do a lot of different things attacking this point, but they're not taking the time to go, where are they holding, what are they doing, how can we push on that? And Randy goes sniper, so I suppose that's their answer. They're going to play around the sniper. Oh wow, the enemy soldier came really forward and try to stop that.
I see, the big dispenser pick from neutral right there, but Randy is kind of getting pressured by this heavy. The heavy is taking some significant damage. He's only on 70 HP. He gets healed up.
Space needs heals. He's gonna go down.
Yeah, Locke is bullying Space up there, top. But yeah, I have a bit of a problem with this sentry spot there because when Space decides to go left, top left, they won't. The sentry doesn't actually shoot them at all.
Sentry down.
And it just gets slammed because it's just in the easy spot. It won't cover anything. It's not like on the other side where it gets protected easily from people spamming under.
Alright, so Uber in bottom onto a heavy. I don't know about that, guys.
Friends, please.
Space is how able to pick up a scout on the right.
Oh, and he also gets picked. But they're just throwing players, but into a heavy one by one is not a good idea. You want to be overwhelming the heavy. You want to be. Don't want to be going into him when he has this, this 5 seconds of shiny blueness. Not working.
Well, I mean, there's no, like, pushing into a heavy is okay in a sense because you force Uber onto the heavy, and Space was able to get another kill in that situation. But
they all got denied by the heavy trying to jump him in the first place, so they all fell.
You've got to have a plan.
Oh,
they're wiping them at corner. This is really good wiping.
Yeah, Zuma just going. This should mean Randall should just go.
Oh, Oni.
Okay, Allison picks up
okay, they let the cap.
That was
it's not a good idea
from the scouts of Smug.
Not the first.
What I would put it like is this: there's nothing wrong with Ubering onto a heavy, even with soldiers. But the question is, what is your plan outside of that? And do you need to Uber onto the heavy to force their Uber? I feel like
Randall's a bit brave there.
I'm not sure he should have died when they had Uber advantage either, but I feel like they could have forced Uber on the heavy by just going in with Space and demo spamming bottom and then having Space rotate, because then they wouldn't have lost Rand Sibling. Then they would have had a kill plus Uber advantage, they would have had a kill and they would have traded Ubers. I feel like that's a pretty good position to be in, but instead they went for, we've got Uber, let's jump onto a heavy and then have no plan. Yeah.
So let's talk a bit about pushing Badlands last with full Uber. Like, I think this is the 4th time Smug have tried it by now. And so they've gone bottom right twice, and the first time they achieved stuff, but they fell onto the floor too quickly, and the second time they just had nothing to shoot at, so they kind of lost because the other team eventually got Uber. And I think they've gone through top left a couple of times. I'm not sure it's worked out 100%, so honestly, when Smug know that Pojkarna are always trying to run these two, what do you think they should be doing this edition?
I don't get why they can't just go in top left with a demo soldier or a demo scout and try and brute force. They haven't done it once.
Well, they actually might be trying it right now. Which is good because there's...
they're doing it now, thank Christ.
I don't know what Ransilving's trying to do, walking into the soldier and heavy.
They are
straight up.
working them from height though. I think if they just focus the fire, they should be able to. No,
Yeah, but they all just they decided to walk down to heavy, and they're going to die to the one behind them. I think. Yeah.
Oh, both of them down.
Jeez. That was incredible. Like smug tilting, I think. Like you Uber in top left, and you get your kills, and then Ransibling decides to just try and force the point. Just play your position, get the frags. Don't force it.
Now they're just throwing players. I don't understand what's going on, friends.
Feeding lock stats,
But-
basically.
However, left has popped. So, you're gonna see some even Ubers or side ad too. But, unfortunately, for Smug, Pojkarna don't even care. They want to be going in right now. They sent the player ad, so they're just going for it. But they are losing players quickly, so this might...
Both teams have traded their soldiers, so now it's down to... Oh, I think Chocobo crashed,
Yeah.
and now we know what the
Yeah.
cause is. Well, that's no good. It seems like both teams are going to be in a really disadvantageous position because of a pause. Obviously sucks. Lots of what-ifs. Hope there's no more. I just... Smug are tilting is another way to put it. Like, they're generally a pretty patient team. They like to wait and set up the Ubers properly, but they're not doing it this game. It's really costing them.
And Randy's getting bullied, not Randy, Oni's getting bullied off Spy, but it's demo, but... Okay, so they betrayed.
These trades? Actually, no, I think these trades are good, pushing Badlands last, because, I mean, ultimately, the more players the defending team...
They're just gonna
loses,
get another
the
kill,
easier
so they're just gonna walk into last right now, because there's no spawns for another second, so they can just get onto the
Space,
point.
well, on the point, he hits his shots, they count.
Oh, good, so this is 4-4 right
4-4?
now. We've got a game,
Wow.
boys.
Obviously,
It'll be close.
sucks that we saw the drop from Chocobo, but, you know, there was some solid play from Smug to get those kills and cap.
So, there's about 9 minutes left because of the first round. So, otherwise we'll be going to golden...
Is there golden cap?
There's none of them. Gonna be. Actually, no, there's draws, sorry, there's only draws.
Yep, draws. Oh, space and really aggressively contesting his crate to kill the jumping soldier. I like that.
I think Oni needs to be more proactive on these mids. He needs to be walking forward. Because it seems to be... Because no one's actually shooting at him
Space
until...
choosing
go
the
for the
combo
med.
corner, hitting. Yeah, oh, he
Yeah,
they
it's
get the
med.
medic because of it. Nice.
This is 100% Uber ad for GManus. So if he
Push
starts
with a
walk-
demo soldier, please.
The control point has been
If they cap quickly, start walking, because left isn't spawn for another 5 seconds, so they're not going to have any
Space is just
sort
going to
of...
go to point, try and
just-
oh, nice shot on the demo. He will get the demo here if he hits his shots. Please hit your shots, Space. Jesus Christ. Oh, there we go.
Please reload rockets.
He's gonna get out
Walker's
bottom.
behind them.
Soldier as well.
Oh,
Oh,
this is not... Oh,
and
demo
what
down.
where was his team? Whoa, I
he
thought his
was
team
really
jumping all
eager, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, the sad thing was Oni was capping mid at the
Well,
beginning,
they
I
could
think.
still do this. No, maybe not.
They're high, but
Rand Sibling has to fall to really get some time on the point. Oh, Gio could hit some arrows here.
where is
Did he
he
hit that
right
one?
now?
I think he did.
Oh, he's leaving. It's alright. It's gonna be slight Uber to left.
I'm going to be honest and say I actually think that Uber would have worked out fine if Space had killed the demo faster. He bungled his first rocket and then swapped to shotgun really early. If he just two-rocketed demo, I think he could have got out, and that would have... I don't think it's the best use of Uber, but it's not terrible. It's demo ad. Too keen. Could have waited for his team. And Randy's gone sniper to push left.
Sniper, man.
obviously. Yeah, the same Zato, Alice, heavy engineer combo we've always seen. Okay, this is really significant. The sentry is on the same side as the demo and the soldier. Now, I know what you're thinking when you see that Eggnormous Uber me, and they don't Uber the demo, and it didn't
What
work.
happens?
Yeah, okay. I'm a little speechless that Smug didn't just Uber the demo in.
I don't know what game this is anymore. The Randall is gonna go down here unless the Randall goes down.
Yeah.
Space is making a play.
Yeah, but what? Oh my
Like,
god.
it's the problem is like you need to be going. You can't be going one by one into this kind of heavy Uber
Yeah,
player.
Lock kills a
Yeah.
scout at reset.
Oh.
I just even like your point's fair, but I just like I think Eggnormous would. Do you agree with me? Just Uber the bloody demo and win the point. Like
If
4
it's a
players,
left, yeah.
top left, clumped up. Just Uber the demo. Kill them. Oh my
Yeah.
Cannon.
god. Go in top left, demo Uber. Just kill
Dude,
everything.
you don't even need a loose cannon. They're all clumped up. You just like shoot a couple.
That is like the most
stickers,
obvious
they all
demo
hit.
Uber situation ever. Like with one play, you force Uber, you kill Sentry, you probably catch it. Oh my god, I'm so sad right now. Come on, Smug. And they're usually so keen to do that. That's the really depressing thing. That is an Uber they love to take, and the one time they really needed to do it, they just didn't.
It looks like we're gonna be reading back onto mid then.
About 8 minutes left. Not just 10 on the clock there, but it was 2-minute 13 round. I went and checked live logs. I'm so studious.
You're a nerd.
Wow, please.
Anyway, so we see ran something and then like, Space
I don't
jump
know what
into
this
second
is.
and they kind of Uber, but what are you achieving?
They've actually got a lot of time. No, they've got time on Spire. I think this is doable.
Ransom goes down and
Oh,
this
they get stopped now.
Yeah.
I feel like Space didn't need to jump in to do that. Why not just walk around? Oh dear, they've lost 3 players. Okay, they did pick up Alice, so... It's like forcing it too much, I think. Oh wow, good rockets from Space onto Zato, and...
Ransom
Oh, wow.
making things happening.
Okay, Ransom just won that. Okay. Someone
I
won
didn't wait.
that.
Didn't wait.
Somebody won.
let me check.
Let's...
Well, by the looks of live logs, ready for spoilers.
Smug win
That was won
5-4.
by Smug. While Ren Sibling did a great job with damage there, I actually think something that's really crucial there was also some of the shots Space hit when he was kind of solo holding forward. He put Zato from a full buff to 35 HP, and he was able to really delay them walking in and taking the cap. If you have, as Pojkarna had in that situation, a 2 or 3 player ad, really, when you think about it, because Ren Sibling wasn't there until Space had delayed them, you shouldn't be taking that much damage from one soldier solo holding forward. So, again, credit to Space, I think. And unfortunately, we can't comment too much on why that last round ended, because we didn't get to see it. But any comments on what you did see from either of you?
Ransom just doing lots of work.
Bottom of the frag board, but top in impact, you say?
He was
Well, I think
important
just
picks.
for that last kind of re-engagement into mid, he was definitely the reason, because he did this really nice jump where he got back onto their enemy's med and he picked him and he damaged, I think, their combo as well. So I think Zoomwatch was jumping, Oni and the med, and he got shot by Ran Sibling, and then Ran Sibling just jumped into the other team and he got a couple of picks and it was good. And they obviously pushed last because they got the med with Ubrad, and that's probably how they got around. It's interesting to note that if you look at the frags for Smug on that round,
Pretty even distribution.
yeah, but the other team has roughly 10 more frags, which is probably, I think, just
The
them
last
pushing into
pushes,
last over and over again. And yeah, Block going pretty big. He's going 21 on 11 for Pojkarna.
I feel like people read a little bit too much into stats. Stats are a really great way of telling you a narrative. So you have a story, how do the stats fit the story? And in that half, it was Locke really bullying, like really just bodying the last push attempts from Smug. So you read that fits the narrative of the stats. But I think we got to see Smug at their best, and I think Smug at their worst. And I think it kind of gives some cadence to what I was saying pre-game, and that Oni is kind of this consistent factor that wins or loses based off the space his team gets, has a really high impact. But thinking about it there, I feel like the real strong points for Smug, and to be honest, a lot of the terrible situations came off the back of Space and Randy. Randy able to find some crucial kills in situations, Space having some really monstrous Ubers, and I think, yes, Credence, not Cadence, thank you. Thank you, yeah. But, I feel like...
Cadence.
Yes.
Cadence Clearwater Revival.
Stuff.
Thinking way too much about the rapper. So, I feel like the best and worst of the driving engine of Smug this season was on display there in Space and Randy. We saw some good players and we saw some great players. We saw some Ubers we probably never want to talk about
We
again.
saw some sad plays.
Yes, we saw some sad players, and now we're on to
Eggnormous,
process.
you want to this mid?
Yeah, I'm watching Neutral. And Ransomling, more importantly, as well. He's doing
Yeah,
the
this
fast
is
rollout.
really Neutral's map, actually.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, Ransomling just blows up Chocobro instantly.
It's interesting to note just then that Oni was on like 40 HP, but no one on Pojkarna decided to pressure him. Randy takes down the jumper, and Oni pipes Zeta, so they should have total control as Alice backs away from IT. He's getting chased by 2 scouts, and he just goes down.
Neutral
also goes down.
instantly shooting off Ransomling's bomb and focusing both their scouts, and they did nothing then.
There's
Full
something
bad right now.
really interesting there that I think says a lot about neutral strengths and weaknesses on a player. As a player, one thing I feel like you can't do in process is really trap people in a corner and just shred them with soldiers. You need to take a little more ground. That's where neutral excels, where he's got some room to move, where he doesn't need to really survive in really tight and close situations. And Smug pushing last with Uber, they've got their Uber into a really good position above the point, and we'll see how that goes for them. Oh, Choker Bro just obliterated Space. That was one of those process Ubers where you Ubered and didn't really get much more than a kill in position and lost all of your post-Uber duels.
A lot of the times, when you Uber into process last, definitely your scouts, when you have full Uber, are one of the main reasons why you can pick off players. Like, everyone eventually diverged onto the point, and Neutral kind of had this really late re-engagement where he couldn't actually, all he did was pistol the heavy and he tried to go forward, but he just died to the 2 soldiers who had to jump back onto the point.
Banny is so disgustingly good at process last. It's one of the reasons Ferrotech is so strong on that map. Like, he just always seems to be able to stay alive and pick up kills.
Yeah. We have this kind of uneventful retake of mid where Randy goes down.
Smug lead, Randy.
Pojkarna have 4 bads, so they might want to be taking it through corner by a lock.
So they're going through choke now. They're through choke.
Okay,
Med's down.
Okay, Med has the pop, but it's at the cost of a couple lives and the point.
Yeah, it's I almost wish Smug would contest with Uber, but it doesn't look like they're in a great position to do that. It's a bit of a shame. They want to push out with Uber now. Oh,
not a good idea.
Lock. Oh dear, Geo drops Uber. I really feel like you had to Uber there, and they just get shredded in the duels because one team is a medic and the other team doesn't. Or maybe not. No, they've. I think this is a round to Podge.
One unfortunate comeback for them.
That one really, honestly, has to fall on Geo. Yes, it's again. There are a lot of situations where you don't want to Uber because it's in a bad situation, but I think that was he just had to accept it and Uber there. His team did screw up by.
Oni's done the fast rollout.
Though. Oh wow, that is fast.
He's already done plenty of damage in choke.
Oh, here we go, double soldier bomb from Smug to try and follow that up. Oh, good damage. Randy and Neutral really getting aggressive on this map now, taking quite a bit of ground. It's good. They struggled a bit with that on Badlands. Player trades happening, but one team is a medic and that team is not Pojkarna, so looks like Smug went out.
I think one of strengths on this map is, as you mentioned before, Neutral just has all this space. Like, I think for Neutral's aim, he's really good at taking these fights. So when the other team is, not got this hill disadvantage and they've kind of been, they have to move towards choke, he's just able to collapse onto everyone else from height, which is really, really good. When, like, they're rolling on process mid.
Neutral's quite a bit like Oni in that he seems to function very well sealing up an advantage, but he struggles to create... Oh, okay, Alice just headshot Geomantis. Where did that come from? That's it's not somebody we've seen snipe for these teams before. Yeah, an observation made by our favourite handsome man, Air, from STV, noted that there was some really good coordination between Smug in some fights and situations. Perfect med flanks, perfect setups, so that needs to be pointed out. Maybe Smug are starting to get their play together a little bit more. And they just executed a number of trades that have got them a med advantage.
Good pipe.
Locke is everywhere for his team on this map right now. Like, he got the a couple of good kills in situations they were losing on mid.
One of the most important things about Locke is he's not afraid to actually die in pocket, or be this kind of baity, wait for his team, survive kind of play. He's able to do it both really effectively, I think.
Yeah, I feel like he's the rare type of pocket where the reason that he dies too much isn't because he has a bad handle on when to die, it's just he gets a little bit too confident in his aim. He's like one of the few players in this community that would benefit from playing more MG, because sometimes his read on the game and what he has to do is a little bit too fast for his aim. And if he could aim as fast as he was thinking, I think he'd body, like, probably, get into Div 1 and give a good account of himself. This extremely interesting Uber from space worked out.
Yeah. I'm very surprised you got out.
Yeah, I kind of wish Gio had Uber him for the post-fight, though, because it might go very badly for them. No, they'll win. That was interesting. Maybe a little bit too aggressive for Gio managed to keep up with there, but it worked out in the end.
It's neutral. Oof.
That's where neutral excels. That's another reason why I think it's really good to see him playing a little bit more aggressively and space dying a little bit less, because when they get that mix just right, those two always seem to be bloody alive at the end of Uber fights, and it's good to have a soldier scout come in to mop up. So we're on to the next mid, and those aggressive jumps to contest Pojkarna's side working out again, it seems. They're absolutely stomping them in the corner. Okay, there's just one player left. Zato doesn't look like he's going to get much.
Unless Gio drops from a surprise headshot again, I think.
Yeah.
Should be a comfortable push into last.
So, like, again, I think that Smug really are at their best on this map, because it gives them so much, I think it gives a lot of freedom for their scouts to move on the mid, to not be in close fights, to not be in situations where they have to take damage.
While we're at it, we have an announcement from a handsome Hindi friend. He said that Locke failed his pocket rollout, and that's why they lost the mid.
It did seem like they were at HP disadvantage. Okay, they're bringing Randy in. They're not getting a lot with... No, they're getting some good position, actually, but Oni dies. I don't feel like that should be happening with an Uber. Big shot from Locke. Absolutely obliterates.
Poko is balling too well.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, if Oni had lived there, I think they might have even won that. They also Ubered a bit early, didn't they? I mean, Pojkarna were kind of sitting back on last, above the point. Do you really need to Uber instantly for that? Perhaps again.
No, I think you have time. Like, were they running a sniper?
That's true. There was a sniper. But even then, there are places where you can walk out and get a little bit more ground before you Uber. Again, I feel like Smug are doing that. We've got Uber advantage, let's just kind of go through this door, and they don't take that extra time to see where the other team's holding and what they're doing. So Locke Ubers straight through the door, another instant Uber onto mid, and I don't think he's going to get much done with it. They kill Randy because he's forced to push up into their flank, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think Gio's going to get this.
Yep, they're trying to push in at main door. Main door into mid for Smug, and I think this Uber by Smug is going to have a little more success. Chocobro really quite low. Space goes in, gets that kill. That was good. Oh, Space, too aggressive. What was that? Oh, okay. Neutral and Randy finding trades at corner. So what Space did there with the Uber, the kill on, Space played the first 2/3 of that Uber really well, and then I think he completely bungled the last half of it. A really important quality as Smug push to second. Oni picks up a kill on Zato. Looks like they should be able to get all over this point. They have the player ad. They have good position. Red Sibling did an aggressive jump to force them out. So we'll just see if Smug can get this point. Okay, no, never mind. There is an Uber for Podge, and they will be able to hold. The question is, will they be able to get Geo? No, it doesn't look like it. Randy does a really, really important job of just finding a kill on the flank or behind Pojkarna. Oh god, we've got nothing but fighting here. Uber trade at corner. Gets Chocobro. Space on Lock. Lock blows himself up. Oh dear, these trades. I think Space needed to find that kill a little bit earlier. And they're still fighting for second. Smug. Oni gets a bottle kill. Smug having the med up and with Oni in good position on the point. It looks like they're going to take it. I think to talk about what Space did in the last half of that Uber and why like decision making on Pocket is actually really hard. Sometimes you just have to accept you can't get much done with a certain portion of an Uber. He'd killed Chocobro and he had put a lot of damage on the enemy, forced them out. If Space had been able to then just go, okay, well we got the demo, my whole team's here, we can kind of walk around the corner and fight them if I'm alive, it would have been a much better situation than what it ended up doing where he was dead. Like, obviously it was still a good outcome for him. They capped the point, they forced the enemy out, they were able to get the demo, but making that even extra step to make the best decision is a really important part of pocketing and using your Uber. And now, Smug are pushing into last with Uber.
Space is going to go. Nope.
I haven't found any kills with it again. It's a little bit concerning to me that they can't find a frag with these Ubers. They only seem to be coming out of the post-Uber fights. Do you feel like Oni's not getting in, Egg? Like he's not being able to get in and really just sticky things on targets? Do you think perhaps that's part of the problem?
I don't think Space is getting in deep enough when he Ubers. It seems to take a while to get towards.
Is it like
do actual
he's not
damage.
jumping at them,
Yeah.
or is it he's not getting the heals early enough?
Well, he needs to be more aggressive so Oni can come in then.
Do you think part of it is as a team they could just walk in and take ground for free? Maybe they're like saying we're going to Uber here and fight them too early?
That's what they seem to do anyway at mids, because the scouts focus the right people to give them the space.
The other thing is, Brandy is really struggling right now. Not normally a fan of pointing out stats, but yeah, not having the impact I think he wants, and maybe that's part of the reason they're not being able to clean up.
He's a nervous player.
So 50% Uber advantage to Pojkarna. They're walking in a corner. Ooh, Lock not able to get Geo there. Maybe a little bit aggressive from Lock. I think he telegraphed that a little bit too much, trying to just walk all the way in a corner. They knew it was going to happen, and Smug were able to get their flank behind.
Here. Yeah, Zeta
that is
just got
true,
three.
but unfortunately, it's not going to be able to stop Smug from going to last and capping, I think. Yeah.
The big Randall back cap strikes again.
Yeah, I think that was an example of... I like that Locke wanted to get in and take ground, but I think he made it incredibly obvious that he had eyes only for Geomanus in that push. And sometimes you've got to be a little bit more subtle as a pocket. Sometimes you've got to be like, well, I'm just taking ground. I'm going to kill your scouts, and just go straight for them. So, like, Locke just played that as, I'm going to kill your medic, and the reaction from Smug was really, really good. So just get behind them and kill the flank, kill the demo, and back cap. Okay, so trade's happening on mid. Chocobo's already dead. God damn, that was quick. Looks like good trades for the Smug.
Nice work, but
Space the only one that's dead. Oh, Randy.
Oni's on a 4K.
Yeah, he's cleaning up. Him and Neutral are really controlling this game.
No one shot Oni until basically everyone was dead. Oni was just overbuffed the entire mid.
Space took a lot of pressure off him with that aggressive jump, I think, and Rand Sibling followed up really well. And Randy kind of did a My Heart Will Go On impersonation, like knowing that he was low and he wasn't dominating the mid, he just jumps in front of GMS to save him from a direct rocket. Some selfless play from Randy there, like a true support player.
I don't know if he meant to do it. I didn't even meant to do it, but
it worked out, so, you know, let's give him the credit. And Smug with another Uber advantage, pushing last. I like this. It seems like they're taking the time to just set up the Uber push. Where can we go? And this... Okay, never mind. They all Uber instantly and they lose a player. That's not the best. But that's good. That's much better from Smug, because if you watch what they did with the Uber, they went, the other team is busy hiding above the point. Instead of trying to forward into them one by one, let's just cap. And they did. So that extra little second of where is the other team? Where are they standing? What are they doing? What can we do with the Uber? Really worked out for Smug there. So any comments?
Yeah, they've adjusted their last pushes much better.
Just slowing it down, taking their time.
They do
Yeah,
this
'cause
much
that's what they
better
usually
with
do.
pacing. It's because whenever they rush us a little too quickly, they usually end up dying. You know, whatever.
I think, so we're on mid again, and
Yeah.
Space gets killed by, oh, interesting trades happening. Oh, Space just wrecked Zato.
Yeah,
was like-
this is a good situation for Smug right now because they can just walk in and okay, Red Sibling just did a big bomb smash
shock.
both
And
left and
Space is
house at
able
the
to
same
pick up the
time.
kill. That was like some really, really good soldier play. Yeah, I think one thing that kind of comes to mind is Smug's starting to hit their stride. Starting to look more confident. Starting to have a higher impact. And they really should push this last and take it. They have 2-player ad. Space is able to pick up another kill. But okay, everyone walking into direct rockets from Space today. And Smug cap. So
It's like
4-1.
that's 4-1.
Oh,
One
this is
thing-
gonna be what called.
One thing I'd really like to see on mids from Smug, like they're really starting to dominate. I think Neutral's really found his way into this game. More aggression from Neutral. Like he's having a high impact this game. Have a higher impact. Go like really deep in because his soldiers are you know not doing so great to stay
Doesn't
alive.
like to
Takes
make
pressure.
mistakes. Neutral.
Yeah.
It's part of his downfall.
Yeah, Neutral's just got to go in deeper. Randy gets some cleaner kills. Oni and Rand Sibling, they're finding him. Space dead again, first on the mid. That seems to be a little bit of a habit. Maybe, Choker Bro doing some solid work with stickies. Never mind.
Neutral
finds kill.
jumps in.
I'm not sure about this from Zoomod. I think he's going to get unceremoniously piped. No, Neutral cleans him up.
Just in his prime.
It's interesting to me that Space ends up dead on a lot of these mids, because from what I can see, he's doing some solid soldier jumps to force them out. I'm wondering if Smug can't even crush them harder, like really punish Pojkarna for their predictability. You were going to jump here and try and kill this soldier. We're not even going to jump there. But, you know, what they're doing is working out for them pretty well so far. Early Uber behind Pojkarna. They went, is it IT? I believe it's IT. Doesn't work out for them as they lose Rand Sibling. Bit of a trade. Randy's also dead behind. Space kind of solo holding it at mainway and really punishing them for it.
Left is
And he
taking
lives.
some solid pipes.
Oh, he dies to Zahir. That was really nice from Space. It was another one of those aggressive solo holds that really worked out for him. And Oni, good combination with him, followed it up.
Neutral takes on Zeta there, so this might be the point for Smug actually, because they're getting some great ground walking in, and left is kind of pushed all the way.
Just directed Geo for the kill though,
Never
and
mind.
he gets neutral. That was. I don't think neutral were too happy with
Rand
himself
Sibling gets
there.
the flow
No.
man pick.
Locke gets some cleanup frags. Looks like a successful second defense from Podge. Space going for a really aggressive play here. Oh! Gets Choker Bro, but dies. It's a shame he couldn't strafe onto the pack there. And Oni also goes down.
Time has been added.
Podge take mid. They have Uber disadvantage, no player advantage, but at least they get the midpoint. Looks like Smug is setting up to defend second. Air informing us in STV that Space is currently having a date with Rosie Palms about that air shot that he hit. Good on him. One should enjoy the fruits of one's own handiwork, I suppose. We're still at the Uber view. Oh, okay. Looks like Smug want to push in with Uber. He did indeed hit a big... Oh, okay. Space hits a big bitty and then gets kind of hard denied pushing into mid there. Got some good damage on the soldiers. Yeah, not the best Uber, I think, from Smug. Oh, okay, maybe Oni gets Sato. Randy gets Zumoj, 2-for-2 trade as Alice and Lockett returns. But unfortunate. Oh, okay. Oh. Just
He's
straight
just trying
up.
to fight them on point. He jumps out and something to just descend on his medic. But
Neutral, come on, man, get your shots.
Neutral's sad right now.
Okay, Locke
Yeah.
just that was the solo soldier hold there. Locke really just bullied them off. He might die here if Space can hit another air shot. Nah. You can't expect him to hit every one of them. Oh dear, and Space finally gets
Nice
punished,
pipe by
I think, for
Chocobro.
those really aggressive solo soldier players. He gets piped down and looks like we're going to have a reset of the status quo. Some really solid play from Locke there. I don't really know how he was able to find those kills. I guess Smug just missed their shots. Oh dear.
Oh, this is not a good Uberforce situation because Smug is
Yeah.
just kind of sad right now, getting all force and force.
Smug is
Randy's
brutalized here. Randy needs to win his duel. Oh, he gets his...
the frag stuff, Randall.
Okay, that...
Alice goes down to space, so this is actually looking marginally better because Randy is behind them. Space gets there, so Randy is behind. Oh, Randy, sorry, he's dead.
Chocobo's gonna die here.
They have spawned, so they should be
They're
going
getting
forward.
both pockets are kind of monstering these situations right now. A lot of just really aggressive solo. I'm gonna muscle in. I'm gonna body people with my aim, and I feel like Space is kind of having the better end of that. If it comes down to pure aim, I don't know. I just have a little more confidence in Space's ability to hit his shots. He's been in a few situations, one-on-one duels with scouts, that kind of thing. He's delivered. Oh, somehow Geo dies to a lock bomb though. Pockets making play after play after play. Oh dear. Trades happening all across the map. Randy picks up Chocobro, Oni gets Zato. Hard to tell who's really having the better end of this. Neutral's decided to go for a Goblin. He's was hiding in IT. Now he's behind Pojkarna on the second. I don't think he's going to be alive much longer.
Needs to juke more.
Oh, he is
Man.
juking. And he finally dies to Zato. I think in those types of situations where Neutral's 100% going to die, he does look a little bit confused. I think he just needed to find a duel and take it. Tried to stay alive as long as he could, and now his team's play it out. Okay, Geo dies to the enemy combo that just walked in. Locke. Did Locke just walk in and like kill the medic in front of a whole team?
Yep.
Okay.
What a bully.
Yeah, we see Zumoj just jumping early onto second right now. I don't think there's much.
And
But they've got
Ransibly
fully
going for that
bad.
NG. Oh my god, look at his engineer. Oh, that's disgusting. He's the fat Warcraft nerd. That's beautiful. You go, Ransibly. Never change. And Uber in with Scout. I feel like Pojkarna having a little bit of the why did we Uber this way? Why didn't we take the extra second?
Now Space is just walking. Oh, he's
Sentry's gonna eat them
The
alive.
sentry's eating them. Yep, and Space is in behind. Not sure if that's the best decision, but I mean, you know, they haven't gotten wiped. They're holding the defense. Kind of wish he was with the med pushing into them, but this is the other great thing about process last. If you run this engineer, you pretty much hold last to anything but like 2 players. And Oni goes for a really aggressive play. Does die, but it's traded for 3 kills. So I think that's something that
So,
Smug is perfectly happy to take.
Zumoj is holding dust above the entrance at Saw, so I think
Yeah,
when...
this will be an Uber force.
Okay, Geo sees this and he's
Oh,
going
Geo,
back.
nice surf. Yeah, was he on the?
Wasn't so much of a surf, more like
just where he was
gotta
standing?
walk backwards. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So he just And Smug preserved their Uber advantage. That's good.
Left
They're-
is taking some damage, so he has to
Yeah.
back out right now.
I'd
About
really
90.
love to see a medic or like Smug pushing up with Space there because he could have got in on them and got like 3 kills with spam rockets. But you know, it doesn't matter. Smug's still pushing with an Uber advantage to second. They're 4-0 up, so you know, one wipe here, you'd think they've got the game. Wow, they've really taken a lot of ground. They've walked all the way into forward a point with this Uber in space. Hit your shots, man. He does. He kills Med. Walk backwards. Oh, space also kills Lock, so it's a good Uber exchange.
I think he didn't need to pull out a shotgun. He just needed to reload rockets and
yeah, I think he could have
really
walked backwards and just played really safe. And they're walking the last. Smug, they're getting some good trades on point. They camp and
5-1. So it's GG. So 5-4, 5-1 to Smug.
What did I call? 5-3, 5-1?
I think you said. I think you did. Yeah, I think I also called 5-3, 5-1. I think actually most people kind of said about that. A little bit harder for Smug than I think anyone expected on Badlands, but we did say of the two maps where they could struggle, that was it. And very solid effort from them in process. I think their scouts in particular looked a lot more comfortable on how to play that map. They got involved a lot earlier into it. Randy had some crucial kills, and I think Neutral looked much more comfortable just staying alive, mopping up. And I think the other observation that was made was much more consistent Ubers out of Smug. I don't know if it was the way the map plays, perhaps the fact that they played a second map, whatever reason, it just looked like they slowed down after the first few failed Ubers, and they went, okay, how can we get this frag?
Scouts and Oni just look so much more comfortable pushing back into like post-Uber situations than they did on Badlands, because Badlands is a much more like enclosed environment when they were like failing the majority of their pushes, which is you know last.
When you're backed into a corner in Badlands as a scout, I feel like no matter where you run, you're in a situation where you just can be instantly killed. On process, you have more space like horizontally to move, and I think really importantly, like in say Badlands, if you're fighting under the bridge and you're getting pushed back, all you can really walk into is places where they can hit you from height. There's a lot more just movement room for scouts. I think that plays really well to Neutral style, which is a little bit heal hungry and a little bit defensive, because he's not as comfortable when you really put him in a corner, and he has to like kind of rely on just flat ground, dodge people spamming on me movement. He's much more comfortable with that. My team has tied you up. I can now just take you apart at my leisure. And it worked out really well for him. Really well for Smug in general, I think. So, is someone going to make an effort to get them in here to answer questions that nobody cares about, or are we going to wrap up?
Brodogs? Yeah, whatever. It's not a finals. Do whatever you want, Brodogs. It's
Just give him a minute or two, I guess. Lock's coming too.
I think Air would like to be unsuppressed, by the way. Brodogs.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can talk now.
Yeah, I know.
You're not allowed to, technically.
Yeah, do you have any questions you'd like to offer to the teams when they're ready? Or are you just going to be silent and brooding?
I'm not technically meant to be in here, so I'll leave it up to you guys. Oh, also space needs to be unmuted. I think that's the one question.
Hello. I'm here.
Alright, so do we have everyone in and unmuted for both teams? No, Oni's still out. Okay. Let's just make sure everyone can talk first.
Hello.
Okay, so we've got Lock for Podge, and we've got Space and Oni for Smug. Is that everyone that'll be joining us? And Geo. Right. So is that everyone that's joining us? Nobody else coming?
Yeah, that's all. That's it.
It's all from Smug.
Anyone else from my team will come?
Right. Okay, Star Egg, you want to open with any questions?
I'd like Air to ask the question for me.
Okay. Space. The one's for Space. How? What did you change up about your last Uber pushes towards the second half of that game?
On process?
Yeah, you guys just really sort of had it together.
Well, like with our first ones, we were kind of going like way too fast. And then yeah, Oni, like we were just kind of making dumb mistakes. Like they just hold in panic room pretty much every last with like a heavy or something, and because it works so well for them in Badlands or whatever, but because it's a different style of map, it didn't really work as well. So we just all jump on point. I think there was like one where we just put like 3 people on point and just capped it before like even getting like 2 kills or something. So yeah, I don't know, Oni just kind of told us what to do. He's just like, there's no sticks on point.
The thing that we changed
wisdom.
was, it was just like, I kind of had a little bit of a rage because we weren't putting very many people on the point, and so after that we got the people on the point, and then we just capped. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, we slowed everything down too. Like when we had full ad or whatever, we'd like actually take a while to peek and see where people were, and like actually try to push properly rather than just like going in without knowing where people were, kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, congrats on your win.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
What is your next threat in terms of teams in Div 2? Who do you think is going to be the next one?
I don't like threat.
Feeling pretty confident you'll be in the grand finals?
Dude, I think we'll get GG egged again, man.
I think Podge is probably our hardest team. That was our biggest threat, but I don't know. No, I think we're pretty comfortable.
Awesome.
Alright. Okay, I've got a question for you, Locke. When I remember the previous makeup of your team, Zato was not scouting. It was you and Zato as a soldier combo, and you guys did a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of damage output, a lot of presence on the map. How is the lineup changes to your team, especially having Zato move to scout and having Ryan come in as demo? How has that changed the way you guys are playing, and especially how has that affected you? Because as we discussed in the pre-show and in-game, you're a very aggressive pocket. You like to, actually quite a bit like Space, you like to take a lot of aggressive Ubers, you like to get around enemy teams and damage their scouts and have that kind of a play style. So how has the lineup changes affected how you approach the game, how you think about how you want to use Uber, stuff like that?
Not too much. It's probably improved overall because all the scouts we tried were shit, so we just needed someone to be a good second scout. So we just picked up extra people to fill the other roles. And I don't know, with the team play, I kind of just take the good with the bad with Ryan. Sometimes he'll jump in and pipe at 85 people, and then other times he'll just die randomly.
Yeah, we were saying that he has a little bit of that mentality of, I'm going to stand where I decide I'm going to stand, and I'm going to rely on how good my aim is to kind of keep me alive. And sometimes that really works out for you guys because you're kind of in there aggressively with maximum heals, kind of bodying the other team. And he's like, this soldier is coming at me, I'm just going to pipe him. I'm alive, I can do damage, and there's a fight, we're going to win. And sometimes he just kind of dies unceremoniously. So you have the good with the bad there with your combo play as well.
Yeah, pretty much.
I actually do have a question, Starbuck.
Good stuff.
Is it okay if I ask it, or?
Yeah, you should ask it, dude.
It's for Locke, actually. I guess this is sort of a problem with both teams this game. The Ubers seemed a bit awkward and disorganized. What's sort of your general plan in say Badlands mid Uber, Locke? Because I feel like there were a few fights that you guys should have been winning, and then sort of the Uber petered out, and you were all still low and just got collapsed on. What was sort of going through your mind pre-Uber in those situations?
Yeah, I don't know. I think some of our players post-Uber positioning is questionable, which cost us a lot. I did slow down the repush, or we just get owned.
Fair enough.
Would you feel more confident if you were playing with Ryan over Chocobro, or is that just kind of a consistent issue across the team regardless of that one change?
I don't know, maybe Ryan would have made a difference. He makes a lot of clutch plays. So he might have, I don't know, made a few more openings that we could have worked off.
So I have a question for GMNS. Are you subconsciously throwing out these arrows at players whenever you're on Badlands on corner when you see the team on Grey Bridge? Just throw it out every fight, every Uber push when you Uber fades and you just get a kill somehow.
Yeah, dude, he gets kills all the time.
Yeah, basically, I can't commit. I do anything from a distance, and it's also not good positioning to go forward to Grey Bridge because then my flank's exposed and our players are at Grey Bridge. So I sit back, have a couple of shots, and sometimes I luck out. So.
What did you end up getting? How many kills? Like 3?
About 3.
Yeah.
It's just people happen to walk into them. Not so much my good aim.
Oh well. Crossbow is a great weapon to watch when it actually finds arrows.
Possibly the greatest.
Okay, so I've got a question. It's aimed at all 3 members of the Smug combo. Something that Space is doing a lot, and it actually worked out more often than not, was these quite aggressive solo holds. So Badlands middle, there are a couple of situations, and